And I have to say, the negative talk that sometimes happens around clients when we get frustrated with them has to stop.
100%.
I mean, I'm just going to be bold and put that out there. And I feel strongly about that. I do think it has to stop. And I think, look, like our clients are bringing their pets in because they're asking for help.
They are doing the best they can.
The
fact that they're standing,
same team.
right? The fact that they're standing in your clinic, they took time out of their day. They're going to spend a bunch of money. They don't have to be there. Mm-hmm. They're doing the best they can. They're coming to you for help.
Yeah.
Don't judge them.
I know.
Don't cast aspersions at them.
If we put that out there that we're not on the same team as our clients, then we're creating a gap. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Season 1 of the Veterinary Leader Podcast, brought to you by Companion Pet Partners. I'm your host, Dr. Kate Elden, and I'm so glad you're here. At Companion, we're passionate about growing leaders, and that's what this podcast is all about. Whether you're an associate veterinarian leading your team in a busy hospital, a practice owner or medical director leading a large, diverse team, or maybe you're in industry, policy, or operations, this podcast is for you. You're going to hear real conversations with leaders across our industry who are shaping the future of veterinary care. Our hope is that these conversations challenge and inspire you in your role as a veterinary professional. Now, before we get started, I want to ask you a big favor. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to this podcast. It's a really simple way to let us know you want to hear more of these conversations, and it'll help us reach more people. All right, are you ready? Let's dive in. Dr. Sarah Wooten, we are so excited to have you on the VLP podcast here. We are here because Companion is having a hospital leadership meeting, our annual hospital leadership meeting, and you are going to be speaking with our team tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. I just want to let all of our listeners know that you are a veterinarian, a graduate of UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine. Go Aggies! Woo-hoo. A certified veterinary journalist, a speaker, co-creator of the popular card game Vets Against Insanity, and associate event Vets Against Insanity Con. Short for conference?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like Comic-Con, but
yeah, that's where my brain went with it. I love it. A partner with cat.com, where you've created fun and informative videos sharing health and wellness tips for their popular YouTube channel. And from what I've gathered, you also love the outdoors. You mentioned skiing, fly fishing, golfing, hoverboarding, hiking, and paddleboarding on your website. What else am I missing?
Horseback riding. That's my new thing.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So I spent all of last summer working as a ranch manager for a horse ranch that had 40 horses, and they asked me to do it. And I was like, I'm a veterinarian. Of course I can do that. Right. And so
I love it. Look where the world of veterinary medicine takes us. It's just like, we could do so many things.
It opens so many doors. I have done so many awesome, fun, creative things that I never thought I would with this degree.
I started my journey in veterinary medicine as a horse vet.
I could totally
probably didn't know that about me.
No, you know what? You're kind of giving that vibe.
And if you had told me when I was in vet school that I was going to be working with dogs and cats, I would have been like, you're crazy. I was president of the Equine Medicine Club. And I, every summer in vet school, went to work at a horse and mule pack station in the Eastern Sierras. So you said horseback riding. I'm tracking you. We are on the same page.
Awesome.
Well, I'm even more looking forward to our conversations now.
It's going to be great.
You are speaking to our leaders tomorrow about innovation and driving change at the local level. Can you give us a little bit of a preview of what you're going to be talking about?
It's going to be this really fun workshop. So several months ago, Companion approached me and asked me to speak at this event. And I said, well, what are the things that you really want to cover? And so they came back to me and said, change management. And I said, okay, yeah, great. You know, I've had a lot of change in my professional life, and I've seen it at the corporate level, and I've seen it at the mom and pop level. So let's talk about that. So what we came up with, and this was really a collaborative effort with the leadership at Companion, so I have to give them a lot of credit for this, was a workshop where first of all, the gloves are off. We're going to spend the first part just dreaming. Like, what could we do if there, money was no level, time was no thing. What could we do at our veterinary practice? What could we innovate? What could we change? Could we improve? So we're going to do some brainstorming, and then we're going to narrow it down, and then we're going to pick our top one, and we're going to have the managing practice manager and then the managing DVM work in pairs to workshop through their top change desire for their hospital. So Simon Sinek, he says start with your why, right? But veterinarians are different, right? Sometimes we just don't care about the why and we want the what, right? So
Yes.
I thought, let's start with the what, because that's easy to dream about stuff, right? Dreaming about new equipment or renovation or staff raises or changes in practice software or whatever it is that you want. So once they have their top choice, then what we're going to do next is we're going to go through the why. And so we're going to talk about why it matters to us as the boots on the ground in the clinic. And then we're going to learn how to talk about why it matters to our corporate partners, who are really kind of the gatekeepers to the funding and what actually goes out to the hospitals. And we're going to learn how to talk to them in their language, which I think is super exciting because veterinarians are already bilingual, right? We have English and then we have the veterinary. You know what I'm talking about,
true.
right?
The vet speak.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we already know how to do this. So we're just going to apply it to some corporate terms. Things like metrics. We're going to talk about how sexy metrics are. It's going to be amazing.
Good spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. My husband's an engineer.
Okay.
And I've said spreadsheets are sexy before, which I mean, just like you say that to an engineer and you're taking your conversation to the next level.
Absolutely.
So,
like there's just like fireworks that go off in different places. So anyways, then we're going to talk about the why. We're going to build the why because the why is what gives you fuel to fuel your dreams. It's going to keep you going when you run up against resistance. And then after that, we're going to talk about the how. We're going to create an actual framework for them to take back in order to talk about what they want to change, why it matters. They're going to be able to talk about why it matters to corporate in really sexy business talk. And then they're going to have an actual action plan to take back. And I'm really excited because this is going to be way less about me and way more about the audience, exploring these ideas, exploring how to apply it, and then actually have a tool that they can take back and apply to anything that they want to change.
I love this.
Over and over and over.
So relevant for our leaders. And, we get, as a veterinarian, we get so much training in patient care training, and then we get some training about how to talk with clients. But what we really don't get are this training in how to manage teams. And so many of our leaders in veterinary medicine, when I ask around to people, yes, you're a leader. We lead such a spectrum of people. Have you ever had formal leadership training? And most people are like, what? Come again? The answer is no, because there's just so much knowledge to have. So something that's important to us, and that's why we're having this hospital leadership meeting. And actually at Companion, we've developed a leadership accelerator program for veterinarians to be able to apply to get some additional leadership training. As we want to grow and just together kind of build on these leadership skills, and change management is so at the core of that. And I mean, it's the core of what we do, boots on the ground inside of hospitals, and then also within our corporate support teams, they're changing as well. And we're in a landscape around us of clients and the economy that's changing as well. So change is constant. What are some tools that you use, like specific tools that you're going to talk about tomorrow for how veterinarians can kind of manage change? Say you want to incorporate a new tool into your practice, like maybe get a new ultrasound machine or something like that. How do you begin to open that door when you work with a corporate group?
Absolutely. Well, I think one of the first things is making sure that it is translatable to the corporate group of why this piece of equipment or this innovation or whatever it is beneficial to the practice.
Mm-hmm.
Does it increase your profitability? Does it attract new clients? Does it, cement the clients you already have? Does it improve your net promoter score? Or does it align with your business mission, values, all of those things? So one of the main tools is going to be teaching these veterinarians, right? And we're veterinarians, we're not business bros, right? So we didn't get any training in any of this stuff, is teaching people how to we see the need in front of us. We know the benefit. We know why an ultrasound machine would be good, and we know how we'll use it and drive it and all of that. Teaching them how to explain to their operations person, hey, this is going to do this, this, and this. And what we're going to do is we're going to drill down on how to use metrics.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. And we're going to talk about the difference between metrics and KPIs.
Ooh.
I know. It's going to be so exciting.
Can you just dumb it down for me? What is a KPI?
Well, okay, I can. Yeah.
For?
Let's talk about it like you're 11 years old.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, how for dogs, like all poo-poo times are pee-pee times, but not all pee-pee times are poo-poo times?
Yes.
Okay. So
that checks out.
Okay. Right. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
So all metrics are just metrics. They are just data. They're just measurements of something that you're measuring in your practice. How many heartworm tests, how many new clients, what's your client retention, what's your overtime hours. It's just data, right? So a KPI is a strategic, narrow subset of metrics that you measure for a specific strategic goal.
A key performance indicator.
A key performance indicator. All KPIs are metrics, but not all metrics are KPIs. Does that make sense?
All KPIs are metrics.
Yes.
But not all metrics are KPIs.
Yes.
Yes, I see that.
Metrics is data, broad. KPIs, narrow set of metrics, very specifically designed to prove or measure your success for your innovation.
Yeah, those are the ones that are going to be driving change. But they're going to be driving change or adjusting how you might do things in your hospital. And some metrics are maybe worth tracking, right?
Yes.
For you as a veterinarian or maybe for your hospital manager to track, but they might not be what your, say, regional operations director will be wanting you to report on.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's what this workshop is about, is learning which ones are important. Because if you want a new ultrasound machine, well, you may not be measuring like your amount of call-outs of your staff, right? You're going to want to be measuring the metrics that are specific to that ultrasound. So that's what we're going to learn. And I think what I really missed as a younger veterinarian was understanding how vital this is to a business. Because as an associate veterinarian, you kind of just don't care. You're on ProSal, you're just whatever, you're doing your thing, you're seeing your clients and you're doing your stuff. When you're a practice leader and you're responsible for keeping those doors open and those lights on and those people paid and those people walking in the door, suddenly this data becomes a gold mine of information that you can use to improve the practice experience for everybody involved. It's incredibly powerful data that, frankly, as a young veterinarian, I was scared of and bored by and very resistant to. I was like, oh, no, I don't want that, right? I just want to go see this dog and pet it. And as an old, seasoned woman now, I understand. I understand the importance. And then I not only understand the importance, I understand the power. And it's incredibly powerful. So we're going to learn how to do that.
It is empowering to be able to understand like that P&L, that profit and loss statement that comes through our hospital that we review, and to know what KPIs are relevant for us. And, something that I might think is really important and really going to add value to our practice sometimes I'm humbled by that, because maybe I don't realize that, Serenia costs so much more for those big dogs. And while I think that it's actually, while I know that it's providing an elevated level of care to our patients, I might also be thinking that it's doing something on our profit and loss statement, and it's actually not. And you just don't know that unless you're measuring it.
Right.
And you're looking at it.
Right. And say you do want to keep using that medication for the large dogs. All right. Let's look at the actual number. What is that costing us to practice this elevated level of medicine? Fine. It costs that much. Where else can we make it up?
Yeah. Yeah. It is empowering to understand that. Yeah. So thank you for talking with our teams about that.
You're welcome.
One thing that I know that you're passionate about is this kind of perception of what veterinary care means to our pet owners and what veterinary care means to our veterinary teams, or how, those two things, like how the world might see vet care differently. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
I certainly can, Dr. Elden. So I practiced for 16 years before I retired. And during that time, I saw a lot of this, what I thought the pet needed, and then what the client thought the pet needed. And like we were both looking at the same pet and seeing it from two totally different perspectives, neither of which was totally wrong. Okay, so somebody would bring in a pet and I'd be like, I see heart failure and dental disease. And then the client would be, I see nail trim and rabies,
Yes.
Who's right? Yes. And so, because I saw there was such a huge divide between what the veterinarian thought was appropriate for that animal versus what the client thought was appropriate or important or valued, I thought we have to narrow this gap by raising the education of the pet parent.
Yeah.
So that's why since 2009, that's a long time, I've been making content for pet parents.
Oh, great.
Clients, whatever we want to call them. I'm not sure what we're calling them these days, but we can talk. We can call them clients. So I've been making content for clients to teach them things that, like, you and I, like, we know it in our sleep. We know it backwards. We know it standing on our head. They don't know. And you would think that they'd know, but they don't know. They don't even know when you're doing a physical exam sometimes. They'll know if you're listening to the heart and you're putting the stethoscope. But other than that, it's actually, it was shocking to me that there was such a huge gap between the education. So what I have done is I have tried to teach not only pet parents more, but I have tried to teach veterinary professionals how to communicate in such a way that they don't increase the barrier between them. Because sometimes I'll watch veterinarians talk to their clients and you just see this glaze come over the client.
We lose them.
Right? They're checked out. They can't absorb anything else that you're saying. So for a while, I was teaching veterinarians how to speak in metaphor. Like we would take something like Cushing's and then try and come up with 20 different creative ways to use metaphors to explain it. The best one was a person, he was like, okay, so the adrenal gland is like the Amazon fulfillment center. And the pituitary gland is like the origin of the, packages. And they keep getting shipped to the fulfillment center, but the fulfillment center keeps spitting it out.
It can't get distributed.
It can't get distributed, man. And I was like, this is so brilliant. I love it so much. And so like even something as simple as like, your pet needs to be on bed rest or cage rest or whatever for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What do you think that means to a client?
Oh my gosh. I just check in with this empathy. I know that when I say something like that, how much it shakes the world of the pet parent. And what's going through the reel that's probably running through their head is, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get any sleep. My pet is going to be whining the whole time because I'm not going to be able to let him jump up on the bed, and that's what they like to do all night long. So it's, there's oftentimes like such a gap in what we tell them we recommend and what is actually like practical for their lives. I remember a moment, and this is resonating with me. I remember a moment when I was like pretty fresh out of school, and I had heard what I thought was a pretty subtle heart murmur in a dog. And this dog came in for a wellness exam, just like you said, like a nail trim. And I was very excited that I had diagnosed, a grade 2 heart murmur, and I'm recommending that this dog should get an echo. And I'm, trying to talk about the importance of heart disease in this cavalier. And the owner is just like, are you going to get to do my nail trim today?
Because that's what was important to her.
Yeah, it was very deflating, but it was a good gut check on we need to address client concerns and get back to the basics sometimes of what clients actually brought their pets in to see us, because if we're not connecting with them in their concerns, we're not going to be able to meet them where they're at with the medical concerns as well. So it's like I think it's an important part. I think it's a really salient point to bring up. And also I'm going to be talking about this tomorrow after you talk. I'll be talking with our leaders, also about the why. I'm going to share a clip from Simon Sinek's TED Talk about why leaning into our why we got into veterinary medicine is important. And then I'm also going to give a bit of an industry update.
Ooh.
Yes. You guys ready for my quick industry update?
I'm so excited.
Like year over year since COVID, we were so busy during COVID. I don't know if you were working in a veterinary practice during COVID, but man, we were booked like weeks, months out. We were so busy. And we put up barriers to patient care. We collected deposits. We required forms because we kind of had to. We were just getting suffocated.
No one knew what they were doing.
We were all trying our best to take care of so many pets. And it was hard. And we put up these barriers. And now the world around us, talk about change. The world around us has changed. It's an evolving landscape, not just within veterinary medicine, but everybody is dealing with a certain amount of uncertainty. And something that I notice, because I'm doing telemedicine and I'm seeing a variety of different hospitals, I question, like, have we removed these barriers that we put up so that we are getting closer to our clients again, right? There was social distancing during COVID, but now it's like we want to remove those barriers and get close to them and get connected with them again about these things that we're talking about. Like what is their perceived view of their pet and what's important?
Well, and absolutely. And it's so, as you're talking, my wheels are spinning. And I remember all of that. I was still teaching at that point. And I remember a phrase that people said over and over and over, that they wished curbside would last forever, which gives you an idea of the undercurrent of how everyone collectively was feeling about the veterinary client relationship. Yeah. And interestingly enough, during COVID, because I had retired from practice in 2018, my dog got really sick. Yeah. And she actually ended up having hemangiosarcoma of the spleen and liver. Terrible. Yeah. But I actually got to be a curbside client. So I actually got to sit.
Lived that experience.
And so I was like, I was really upset about my dog, but I was like, this is a really unique experience to sit and look what all these people around me are experiencing. Yes. And what I saw was fear, confusion, separation, not knowing what's going on. Like, these people were just left out in their cars crying.
Picturing you in the parking lot, surrounded by other cars. With their
I was sitting on a grass lawn.
What's going on.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, wow, this sucks. I've never seen it from this side before. I had no idea.
So we'll talk about that tomorrow. I mean, is like, what does your practice look like from your client's eyes?
100%.
Have you sat in your own lobby for 15 minutes? Have you tried to book an appointment?
You're going to talk about this
I'm
stuff?
going to talk about this stuff. I'm just like pitching my own talk.
You know
I shouldn't
what?
be stealing your show,
No,
Sarah.
I'm not. This is all you, girl. This is
Sorry
all
about
you.
that.
No, this is all you. You're going to talk about this stuff and you're going to knock it out of the park. And it's going to be a little uncomfortable because I guarantee you there's going to be some people who will be like, yeah, I know exactly what that experience is like. That's very important. And then there's going to be other people that are like,
it's good.
I have no idea what it's like. I don't actually really care. And that's where we really need to help ourselves.
And that's why we're connecting with our whys, Sarah. I love you just lobbed that up for me, is because really if we get back to why we went to veterinary medicine in the first place, you know, we're all going to have our own reasons, but really we want to take care of our patients. We want to take good care of our patients, and we cannot do that without also taking care of our clients. We have no patience if we don't also have our clients, and we want connection. We want human connection. It gives us more job satisfaction.
Well, actually, honestly, it's the most interesting part of the job. Yeah. So when I was in practice, general practice, like it or not, is the same thing over and over and over. Ears, anal glands, teeth, skin, diarrhea. Ears, anal glands, skin, teeth, diarrhea, over and over and over.
I love general practice.
Right? So it's fine. You can get really good at that, but it gets kind of boring. You sprinkle in the human factor on the client.
Oh, you spice it up.
It's hysterical. It was so entertaining for me. I went into this for the animals. I came out of it loving
the
people.
I know
and the impact you make.
There are so many different ways going through your why and trying to figure out why. Have you heard of the process of the 7 layers of why, where you get down to, I went into veterinary medicine to take care of animals. Well, why was that important to you? And then you just keep asking the why to get to the core. And so many people that start with animals, they actually end up with, because we want to improve the love in the world. It actually goes back to the people a lot of the time. It's just not at that surface level that we think about it. And one of the calls to action tomorrow for me is going to be that we, as leaders, go back to our hospitals and we lead by example for our teams and everybody in our team, and maybe even especially our CSRs, by
God
showing them how important it is to us as leaders, as veterinarians and hospital managers, that we take care of our clients, because without them, we don't have any pets, So, we're speaking the same language.
Hey, listen, once you get to a certain level in this, if you allow yourself, you can find such fulfillment in the difference that you make in your clients' lives. You can see it on their faces. You can hear it in their voices. One of the things I started doing near the end of my practice was when someone would come in obvious distress, whatever it was, I'd say, hey, listen, we're going to take care of this. How are you doing? And I kid you not, 9 out of 10 people were shocked. And they were like, oh, you care about how
Thank you for bringing that
No
up.
one has asked me.
Yes.
And they were like, actually, I'm not okay. And I was like, I understand this is really, really hard. And I was shocked that no one expressed care and concern for how they were feeling going through it.
Yeah.
And frankly, so many of the veterinarians, like you and me, are introverts. Maybe. Are you introvert? Extrovert?
I am at my core an introvert, but I have so many extrovert tendencies that most of my good friends are even like, Kate, you're an extrovert. I'm like, but actually I recharge by myself on my surfboard.
See, you and I are the same way. I go out into the wilderness, recharge by myself. After this whole thing, I'm not going to talk to people for 2 days, probably. Seriously, I have to be alone. So it's not intuitive to us to reach out and connect.
I love that you're bringing this up, because if our clients are going to leave our hospitals feeling good about having brought their pets in to come see us, if we never asked how they're doing or what their actual concerns were. And I don't just mean, that checking the list of like, what are your concerns? Well, my pet's scratching. It's the how are you doing, It goes so far.
So far.
And it might not take, this is my thoughts getting out too fast, it might not take as long as you think to ask that question. It might add 2 minutes to your appointment, but it goes so far. Asking somebody, how are you doing?
So far. And in fact, what I noticed is they would go and they would talk to the technician that the doctor asked how they were feeling. Then they'd go and they'd talk to the CSR and they'd say,
almost.
The doctor asked me how I was feeling. Then they'd leave a comment card that would go to the practice manager. And then suddenly everybody's feeling good.
Yeah.
And on some level, we're a little bit magicians, how we can manage the emotional tone of those appointments. And we literally, no matter what's happening, we can help that client feel better, no matter what is happening.
I really believe we create the world around us through our conversations and the language that we use. There's so much power through that. And as leaders, we kind of have a responsibility to not fall into this kind of negativity bias, that's out there where it's like, you could have 50 data points of good things that happen throughout the day, but you get one bad one that doesn't go well, and it just like, it's in our genes. And
why we do that, right?
It was a saber-toothed tiger back in the day was more important for us to survive, to be able to escape from that early threat than to sit around and smile and laugh with companions. But I would argue that this day and age, it's more important for us to focus on celebrating the successes, actually more important for our survival now than focusing on the negative, right? And I don't mean that just to say veterinary medicine is that way, I think.
Well, it's hard because we're trained to look for the bad thing. We're trained to
find what's wrong. This is what I tell my new graduates that I'm mentoring in the hospital.
Yeah.
Even for a wellness exam, go ahead and find me what's wrong on this pet. You know? Yeah,
absolutely. So we're trained. We're kind of set up to fail a little bit. I kind of wonder how many veterinarians these days are walking around in functional freeze or functional fight or functional fawn, right? How are our nervous systems doing as a collective?
Baseline level.
Right? So if we're all walking around in survival, of course we're going to hyper fixate on the one client of the day that had a negative experience and then projected their negative emotional situation onto said technician. We're not going to see the 30 other beautiful things that we did. So it does take mental discipline and honestly going against the norm right now to focus on the good.
That's another call to leadership, is to do that and is to lead by example by fostering those relationships with our clients and with our team members. And then, like you said, it builds one after the other. It can become contagious.
Oh, yeah. And especially, we are the leaders in the practice. Even if you're just an associate, you're still a leader.
Associates are leaders.
Right? All the support staff is looking to you about how to think about clients, how to think about practice, how to think about the business. So what are you projecting out there?
And I have to say, the negative talk that sometimes happens around clients when we get frustrated with them has to stop.
100%.
I'm just going to be bold and put that out there. Well, I'm not saying
about that tomorrow.
Maybe I do talk about that tomorrow. Sarah, that's a great idea.
We'll see. Yeah.
I love that. These are bold topics. And I feel strongly about that. I do think it has to stop. And I think that's another call to leadership. Why don't we just stack them on? Is that, look, our clients are bringing their pets in because they're asking for help.
They are doing the best they can.
The fact that they're standing, same team.
Right? The fact that they're standing in your clinic, they took time out of their day. They're going to spend a bunch of money. They don't have to be there. They're doing the best they can. They're coming to you for help.
Yeah.
Don't judge them.
I know.
Don't cast aspersions at them.
And I just want to call out that I'm human too, and it's not that I don't sometimes get frustrated when people are not compliant or, just like, yeah, it's not that those experiences aren't frustrating, but I think as leaders, we sit in a role where, and you're right to say that associate veterinarians are leaders as well. We're leading the teams. Mm-hmm. Same with hospital managers. If we put that out there that we're not on the same team as our clients, then we're creating a gap. And I think we do have a bit of a trust issue with clients in our industry today. Like growing up, reading James Herriot and just seeing veterinarians as one of the most trusted professionals out there. I have people in my community that question, especially with the rising cost of veterinary care, they're questioning that. And it breaks my heart to think that veterinarians are not one of the most trusted professionals anymore because of our whys, right? I go back to that as my lighthouse. Like we just care so much and it doesn't track if we're talking negatively about our clients.
Well, it just doesn't fit who we are. Mm-hmm. And I think so much of, the negativity has just been born out of literally survival. Like, yeah. I mean, have you
having
looked
some
at
compassion? I get it. Yes.
Like, have you looked at us lately? Like, as we're tired. Yeah. We are like a tired.
Like a little amen.
Right? We are tired and we're fried and we are showing up every day and we are trying and we are human and we are limited and we fail, right? But as leaders, we are called to rise above that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So are you going to answer the call? And I think we can because we are badasses. Yeah. We went to veterinary school.
I'm answering that call with you.
Yeah.
And it's okay to call out that our profession is hard. And, we're going to forge through that. Yeah, you look great.
Okay.
People are listening on the podcast.
No way.
And you look fantastic. And I'm not editing that.
You know what I'm going to do? Toss.
One more thing that we just need to talk about today is you have created a game.
Yeah.
A card game, not a board game, or is that a board game? Just tell me about this game because I think this is a perfect segue.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm really into helping adults learn, and I'm always into different creative ways for them to learn. And so back in 2017, Caitlin DeWild and I, the social DVM, we came up with this idea for a card game as a learning tool that we used within the Vivaldi sessions at Fetch, the Women in Veterinary Leadership Development Initiative. Vivaldi is the longest acronym ever. So we created this game and we ran it in a couple of sessions and it's like Cards Against Humanity.
Okay, I've played it.
Yeah, but for veterinarians.
Amazing.
So we played it and then Fetch, DVM 360 was like, this is amazing. Let's make this. And we were like, okay. So they made it and then they sold out immediately.
Wow.
And so so they gave the brand to us in, I think, 2020. We're on our seventh edition. Every game is different.
Okay.
They sell out every year. And it's just, the catchphrase is, sometimes veterinary medicine is so hard that you got to laugh so you don't cry.
Oh, gosh,
so
I love that.
It's kind of like all of our inside jokes in a card game. And
I'm going to go out and get this game. I do a girls trip with friends. We call ourselves the 5 friends from veterinary school. And this is just what we need when we get together to have some laughs and some nostalgia and just,
And definitely tequila is helpful.
Oh, yes, that's probably a requirement.
And, honestly, the veterinary professionals have done things with this game. They are dirty. We are a dirty, dirty-minded profession. I was like, I did not see that card combination on my bingo card ever, but you did that. So anyways.
There's enough mystery to here where I feel like I need to go out and buy it right now.
Well, I have a copy here that's the Safe for Work.
Well, when does the next edition come out, or should we, what
if I just give you one? I have a copy here.
How can our listeners?
Oh, they can go to, which one should I look at? Hi. They should go to vetsagainstansanity.com and get one. but they need to go fast because they sell out, especially this time of year, because it's getting to the holidays. And our games are meant for veterinary staff parties.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of thing that you could keep in your break room.
Oh, yeah. People do.
And yeah, is it targeted towards veterinarians or to the whole team? Or
I would say it's targeted towards veterinarians, but vet techs can understand most of it. CSRs, they can get a lot of it. And what's really hilarious is when you play it with people who aren't veterinary people, and they're like,
it opens their mind.
Yeah. they're like, what does this mean? And everyone's dying because they're the only ones who don't know what that thing means.
Well, I usually ask at the end of our podcast, how can we add a little bit more fun back to our day-to-day in veterinary medicine? But I think you've just already kind of answered that.
Yeah, I did.
I love it. Amazing. Well, Dr. Wooten, can you tell us how people can find more information about you and what you do, or how they can stay in touch with you?
Absolutely. I have a website. So it's drsarahwooten.com, and there's a contact form on there that people can use to reach out to me, or you can come find me on social. Except, don't go find the big Facebook page with all the thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, because that one was stolen from me.
Oh no!
And now it's just spam.
Oh, I didn't know that was possible. Well,
I didn't either until it happened.
drsarahwooten.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, amazing. Well, I have really enjoyed our conversation today. Thank you so much for being here with Companion at our annual hospital leadership meeting, and thanks for joining us on the VLP.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Veterinary Leader Podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, please like, subscribe, and share it with your network. This helps us reach more people, and thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.